El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Created 6 years after Breaking Bad went off the air, El Camino, written and directed by Vince Gilligan, takes place immediately where the show left off, with Jesse escaping the compound. Except I just lied to you, the movie actually begins with a flashback, something you'll be seeing a lot of going forward. This flashback takes place during season 5, right before Mike and Jesse quit doing business with Walt. Jesse decides that he should skip town, and he asks Mike where he would go if he were in his position.
Alaska. Up there, you could be anything you want.
Alright, now we're here. As Jesse escapes out of the compound in the titular El Camino, he nearly gets busted by the cops, but manages to flee the scene without getting caught. He drives to Skinny Pete and Badger's house, who are busy apexing and insulting each other.
You drive like a blind guy with no legs.
Dude, you drive like my dead grandmom's.
That's disrespectful.
They initially don't recognize him at first, but they realize that it's Jesse, and they help him get the El Camino off the street so it isn't identified by the cops. I love how even with years worth of trauma under his belt, Jesse still has the incredible talent of not being able to drive without knocking shit over. As Jesse chugs down ramen and goes to bed, it's revealed that all of the former Breaking Bad locations have been turned back into their real-life counterparts. The fact that the sign says under new management is a great touch. Also, I just want to say that I love how this movie looks. It's probably because I'm watching it in 4K, but I love how cinematic this movie is, while still keeping the overall feel of Breaking Bad. Badger and Skinny Pete help Jesse get cleaned up, giving him some clothes and letting them use their shower. He has a painful flashback of Jack's gang cleaning him off with a fire hose, and he decides to shave off his hair and beard, at the cost of making him more recognizable by law enforcement, but helping him to forget the pain he had to endure.
Feel like a new man?
Yeah, thanks.
Jesse begins his escape from Albuquerque, first calling Joe, the junkyard owner, to get rid of the El Camino. However, as he inspects the car, a GPS inside of it activates, and Joe flees the scene before he gets caught. The trio realizes that Jesse might be screwed if they don't act fast, so they devise a plan. Skinny Pete has Jesse keep the El Camino at the house, and has Jesse drive his car while Badger drives another car to the border, diverting the cops' attention away from Jesse and making it look like he hopped the border. Badger gives Jesse some money and drives off, giving Jesse one final farewell, and Skinny Pete does the same, giving Jesse his hat to help him stay undercover.
Yo, Skinny. Why are you doing all this? Dude, you're my hero and shit.
As Jesse drives off, he watches as a ginormous fucking army of police cars head to the house, with Skinny Pete prepared to be taken in for questioning. We get a flashback of Jesse's enslavement by Jack's gang, where Todd hands over Jesse a cigarette like he's getting a teddy bear in a claw machine. Todd casually talks to Jesse about the weather, and tells Jesse that the rest of the gang is out for the weekend, and asks for his help with a project. Todd puts his sociopathic tendencies out on full display in this scene, as he talks to Jesse as if he isn't using him as a meth slave, and didn't kill his former girlfriend right in front of him just a few days ago. He also demeans him and treats him like he's some sort of pet or young child, cleaning his hair with a comb and promising to keep him clean next time. I'd get angry at Todd, but then I remember that he gets killed by Jesse shortly after this, so I'm good. They drive to a building that's located on the corner of Holly and Arose, which shockingly enough, is not a real place. There is a street called Holly Avenue, but Arose Road doesn't exist. That's because this street is actually a reference to Vince Gilligan's wife, Holly Rice. No relation. Arose in Spanish translates to rice, so this street is in tribute to her. Shout out Holly Rice. Anyways, Todd and Jesse arrive to pick up a hood for the back of the car, and Todd tells him there's one more part of the trip that they need to cover. Before we find out that other part though, we're taken back to the present, where Jesse is listening in on the news, revealing that Lydia has been hospitalized and is not expected to survive, and that Walter White has been officially declared dead. Jesse drives back to the same street corner that Todd took him to months prior, and heads into the building, breaking into a closed-off apartment and narrowly being caught by the landlord. As Jesse looks through the peephole, we're taken back to the flashback, with Todd and Jesse entering the not yet abandoned apartment, which is revealed to be Todd's. Jesse asks if they're here to paint, and Todd says, yeah, but first, let's dispose the body of the cleaning lady that I fucking brutally murdered. Apparently he did this because she took one look at his secret money stash.
So your cleaning lady was stealing your money?
What? No. She was as honest as the day is long, but she found it, and I can't have anybody finding it.
Then, like, don't put your money book out in the open. Better yet, don't even put your money there. Put your money in your closet or under your mattress, you dope.
Where are you gonna take her?
Someplace pretty. She deserves that.
You know what else she deserved? Not getting killed! Oh, whatever, she's dead anyways. Todd asks Jesse to put the book away, and Jesse notices that Todd kept the spider that Drew Sharp found back in season 5, demonstrating Todd's complete lack of emotion or empathy, if it hasn't been made abundantly clear already. Back in the present, Jesse looks in those same books for any cash left behind by Todd, but unfortunately, Jesse comes up empty-handed. He starts combing around every nook and cranny in Todd's apartment, trying to find the place that Todd hid his money. At one point, however, he notices that his parents are giving an interview on the news, and he briefly stops his search to take a listen.
Is there anything you wish you could say to your son right now?
Please, come forward. For your sake, for everybody's sake. Son, turn yourself in.
We're taken back to the past, with the cleaning lady's body gently being taken out of the building, and we get this really fucking funny scene of Todd singing in his car.
I'd like to know if you're as lonely as I am, and if you're mine.
They make it out to the desert, and as they finish burying the body, Todd asks Jesse to grab another pack of cigarettes in the glove box. When Jesse opens it, however, he finds a loaded gun placed right next to it, and has the opportunity of a lifetime to finally murder Todd once and for all. However, Todd gives Jesse an enticing offer.
On the way home, I was gonna get us some pizza. A couple large pies. Because you earned it today. You definitely did.
I'm making dinner.
I wish. No, Jesse can't bring himself to kill Todd, so he decides that eating some pizza is the best course of action. In the present, Jesse is still looking around to find Todd's money, but with no luck. This shot right here has got to be one of my favorites in the entire movie. This top-down angle makes it look like we're viewing one of those mazes with a rat trying to find a piece of cheese. They had to build this big panel just to get this angle, and considering how good it looks, I'd say it was definitely worth it. Jesse eventually figures out that the money was stored inside of the refrigerator door, but as he tries ripping it open, he notices 2 police officers walk into the apartment, who start searching the place. Jesse holds one of the officers at gunpoint, and holds him hostage as he threatens the other cop, who says that Jesse shouldn't shoot, since the building is surrounded by cops. As they force Jesse to the ground, however, it's revealed that these 2 men weren't actually cops in the first place. It turns out that these 2 men had the same idea as Jesse, and before they kill him, Jesse tells them that he knows where the money is. They end up splitting the money 3 ways, and Jesse recognizes one of the guys from the compound.
I was wondering when you were gonna remember me.
After a bit of searching, Jesse heads to Ed's vacuum repair shop. He offers them the $125,000, but Ed tells Jesse that he still owes him for the pickup he ditched back in season 5. Jesse gives in, and offers him the rest of his funds, but unfortunately, comes up $1,800 shy. Ed kicks Jesse out of the store, and Jesse tries to appeal to Ed's emotions, talking about how he was trapped by Jack's gang and how he had to watch Andrea get shot. But Ed denies this appeal to pathos and calls the police on Jesse. After Ed hangs up the call, Jesse calls out Ed, saying that his phone call was full of crap. He points out the fact that drawing attention to himself is a big mistake, considering the fact that Jesse was just trying to hand over a huge bag of cash, and that the police won't let you hang up a 911 call.
Seriously, yo. Pathetic.
Wow, you love that response time. Take your money.
The 2 eventually reach a deal outside of the store, and later, Jesse calls his parents, telling them that everything that happened to him was not their fault. Jesse also asks them to pick him up at a nearby park, and uses his parents' now diverted attention as an opportunity to break into their house. Inside, he cracks open a safe, obtaining 2 revolvers, and he heads over to the company building belonging to that one guy who almost killed Jesse earlier. The reason why Jesse recognized this guy is because he was the man who built the contraption that forced Jesse to cook meth for so long. Anyways, the people at this company are throwing a big party with a busload of strippers, and after playing hopscotch with a bug that mirrors a scene from all the way back in season 2, Jesse crashes the party, asking the gentleman for more money. The man, Neil, notices that Jesse is carrying a .22 on him, and offers a challenge to Jesse.
You're 22 against my 45. Winner takes all.
Like the Wild West.
Yeah. Like the Wild West.
Neil and Jesse face off against one another, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. The other man, Casey, desperately tries to fight against Jesse. Jesse threatens the other men that he will hunt them down if they report this shooting to the cops, and Jesse walks out with a duffel bag full of cash. Wow, Jesse, I can't believe that worked! That plan really was the bomb! In one of the final flashbacks of the movie, we see Jesse bathing in a hotel room, talking to Jane on the phone saying how much he misses her, and he walks out of the room with some random dude. Oh shit. They sit down at a restaurant, and Walt asks how long it will take to sell the full batch of meth, to which Jesse says around 6 months. It's implied that this scene takes place right after the two got the RV up and running during 4 Days Out, where the two cooked a shitload of meth. Walt suggested Jesse that he should get a degree in business and marketing, claiming that he could practically teach that subject already, and laments how Jesse didn't have to wait his entire life to do something special.
Only an asshole doesn't like pineapple. Pineapple's good for you. It's got bromine.
Bromelain. But close. Actually, it's not close at all.
It's interesting watching Walt talk to Jesse as if he could do something special, and in a way that could be diverting him from the business. This is around the point of the show where Walt still physically and verbally showed his care for Jesse, and didn't have as much of an inflated ego like in the later seasons. What is inflated, however, is Walt's head. I know Bryan Cranston was busy with something else at the time, but god damn, that makeup does not age well. Back in the present, Ed takes Jesse to his new home, new identity and all.
This is Alaska.
This is Alaska.
Before he leaves for good, Jesse gives Ed a letter to give to Brock, and we get one more flashback before the movie ends. We see Jesse and Jane talking to one another, and Jane tells Jesse about how she views the universe.
I've gone where the universe takes me my whole life. It's better to make those decisions for yourself.
The movie ends with Jesse driving in his car, calm and collected, contrasting his attitude in the opening shots of the film. With his loose ends tied up, Jesse can finally live a life of freedom, solitude, and for the first time in a while, peace. Admittedly, the first time I saw this movie, I thought it was kind of pointless. Like, I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I felt like the world of Breaking Bad would be more or less the same without it. On rewatch, however, I've grown a much stronger appreciation for this movie. Not only does it close out Jesse's arc and finally give him the happy ending he deserved, but the movie itself just looks amazing. There are so many beautiful shots in this film that are grossly underrated. If you're going to watch this movie, do yourself a huge favor and watch it in 4K. It is required viewing. I think the slow burn in the movie worked in its favor, and I love seeing Breaking Bad alumni return for some cameos in the movie. Admittedly, though, you could probably remove a few of these cameos entirely, but luckily they don't subtract from the film, so they're still cool. Overall, this was a solid movie, but how would I rate it? Well, I used to consider this film as a sort of epilogue for Breaking Bad, but I think it deserves to stand alone as its own thing. For this film, I'm feeling a solid A tier. There are some slow moments here and there, but I think this movie deserves its rightful spot in the Breaking Bad canon. And speaking of the Breaking Bad canon, I'll see you all next time. Take care.